So seemingly the curse of the octagon continues. Reason being, I don't know. Maybe just bad karma. Maybe they made too much goddamn money this year. I don't know. But recent news just happened. Forrest Griffin pulls out of UFC 155. He has an ACL tear. Let's see what he has. I think it's an ACL tear. Oh, I'm sorry. It's an MCL tear, an ACL strain, and 20 cc's of blood had to be drained from his leg. The odd thing about this is Chael Sonnen was originally supposed to fight Forrest Griffin at UFC 155. Instead, everybody knows that he comes off of a loss, from Anderson Silva and jets up to the light heavyweight division, not only to get a title shot, but to get a coaching job on The Ultimate Fighter. Chael is the ultimate talker. He's the ultimate shit talker, and he talked his way into a lot of stuff. And this whole situation still boggles me is how he's so lucky in the UFC, because he's really not that. In my opinion, he's not that well rounded. He's not that athletic. He's just like an old school wrestler, Randy Couture type of guy. But anyway, moving on. It started as Sonnen versus Griffin, and Sonnen pulls out, goes ahead and does the Ultimate Fighter opposite John Jones, and then Phil Davis steps in, and Forrest was, I think, almost a 4-1 underdog to Phil Davis, almost a 4-1, like 3.5, 4-1 underdog to Phil Davis, and then so it says right now that Phil Davis his opponent is TBA, so to be announced until further update. Phil Davis has no opponent for UFC 155, and that's one of the bouts I was really looking forward to. It was either Forrest Griffin of old that came out and gave it a dog fight, gave it everything he had, or it was the Forrest Griffin we saw just get beat up from the guard constantly. Three times I think Keith Jardine beat him up through the guard, and then Rashad Evans beat him up through the guard, and most recently in the first round, Shogun KOs him in Rio straight through the guard. He actually said he didn't care because his wife was having a baby at that exact moment in time, and he just didn't care. He'd just take a loss. Fuck it, doesn't matter. And I really wanted to see what Forrest was going to show up, and looks like no Forrest is going to show up. Also, we have another champion that's out even longer. I thought, after coming off of the Ultimate Fighter, God, a year ago, I thought this guy would be at least, in decent health by now. Obviously, he's not. Dominick Cruz is going to be out for yet another 6 to 9 months. I'm not quite sure. After there's some sort of, he has some sort of ailment. I'm not quite sure what it is that would keep him out for this long. But whatever it is, it can't be good. I mean, he's the undoubtedly the bantamweight king as of right now. I mean, I don't see anybody beating him anytime soon. Demetrius Johnson had a good run. Joseph Benavidez had a good run. I think that Uriah Faber probably came the closest, but they were supposed to fight again. He pulled out, and that was a long, long time ago. It says that Dominick Cruz. It says Dominick Cruz was replaced after his body rejected a ligament. He tore his ACL, and when they replaced the ligament, his body rejected the ligament from the cadaver that it came from. So that's what's going on with Dominick Cruz. That's some pretty gruesome shit. I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, regardless, it's still kind of creepy. So anyway, the UFC curse of 2012 seems to be running rampant still, and the only guy that seems to be extremely relaxed about it is Renan Barao. And you might remember Renan Barao for his 5-round beating of Uriah Faber. I really, really, really was pulling for Uriah in that fight, man. I'd really like to see the Uriah of old, and I just hate to see him pass his prime and just get beat and dominated in certain areas. But Renan Barao says Michael MacDonald makes sense, and the last time I recall seeing Michael MacDonald, he was on top of Miguel Torres putting his fucking lights out. This kid's no joke. He's one of the people that I like to call the new breed. Like John Jones' elbows, Jose Aldo's knees, Anthony Pettis' super kicks, the Diaz brothers boxing, JDS's boxing. just that super breed. Anderson Silva's pinpoint precision, GSP's takedowns and control, ground control. They have these just amazing. They're just all around mixed martial artists. Rory MacDonald actually is who comes to mind when I think of the new breed. John Jones, Rory MacDonald, and this Michael MacDonald that fights in the bantamweight division. Floored Miguel Torres, put him on his ass, completely knocked him out last time we seen him. And Barao seems pretty content with taking him on as a contender, as to unify the belts with Dominick Cruz, since he's going to be out for 6 to 9 more months. Barao wants to stay active, so it looks like it's going to be Barao versus MacDonald up next. All this talk about UFC 155, the rematch between Cain Velasquez and JDS, super amped for. Regardless, there's talk that regardless who wins, Overeem's going to get the next shot, and it was kind of confusing because the suspension and what happened to Overeem. It was only a 9-month suspension. Nick Diaz, how about that? I think that's some shit. Nick Diaz gets busted for a drug that's not even illegal, and this guy's got a 14-to-1 steroid ratio. I mean, it's 9 months. But anyway, he said that he really didn't talk to Dana White too much. It was just hello, goodbye whenever they saw each other, hi, bye, or in passing. And he said one night in Vegas, he looked him in the eyes and he told him that he was very, very sorry for what he did. And now things are starting to come together. I think you really need to just sometimes you just kind of have to do that with Dana. You just do. I mean, look at how many rematches. How many fucking rematches you're going to get Frankie Edgar? You stalled out the entire fucking lightweight division for 2 years because he had to fight Gray Maynard fucking 4 times. Then he had to fight BJ Penn 3 times. Then he had to fight fucking who the fuck else did he fight twice? I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. Benson Henderson twice. So it was crazy. The rematches that this guy was getting, and that's why I wasn't a fan of his. Now Frankie Edgar's he's on my good guy list. I like Frankie Edgar a lot. I actually think I'll give him number 10 maybe on pound for pound, but I'm not giving him anywhere near the top 5 like most people would. Last but not least, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Just go to YouTube. I'll actually leave the link down here in the description, and it is Road to the Octagon, UFC on Fox 5, and watch BJ Penn's segment. BJ Penn's segment was really, it was heartfelt. It really was. It was heartfelt. It was a brand new, modest, ripped, in shape, super focused BJ Penn. And still, unfortunately, I'm leaning far towards Rory MacDonald's side, for the win. But I mean, we're seeing a whole different side of BJ Penn. And in my opinion, a lot of that has to do with being humbled by Nick Diaz and the way that whole thing went down. He said it in his last fight that he knew he was doing something wrong in sparring or something like that. But I mean, that 3-round war had nothing to do with sparring. It was a brutal beatdown of BJ Penn. He said he didn't want to go home to his daughters looking like that, and if he can't compete at the elite level, then he didn't want to do this thing anymore. He was retiring. So I mean, we're only a few days out from UFC on Fox 5. I think I put enough of those fucking videos out, so I'm not going to go there. But if you have not seen this, you just look at BJ Penn's segment. It's really heartfelt, and I'm really pulling. I mean, these are my guys. These are the guys that I grew up watching. I grew up watching BJ Penn, Chuck Liddell dominate these divisions. At one point, it was middleweight before Anderson Silva. I remember Rich Franklin was the guy at middleweight. This unbeatable guy. He took on David Loiseau, and that was a huge fight. I think he broke both of his hands in that fight, and there was just this epic this guy Rich Franklin. This guy, he's the shit. He's the best. He's middleweight fucking kingpin. You can't take him down. And Anderson Silva comes and just pisses into punch bowl. But I mean, these are my guys. Chuck Liddell, heavyweight. I really never paid too much attention to, but middleweight was Rich Franklin. 170 was always Matt Hughes, and then if they did have a lightweight division, it was BJ Penn, and if not, BJ Penn would have no problem moving up to 170. That's why he's only one of 2 men in the UFC, he and Mr. Randy Couture, to hold 2 titles in 2 different divisions, because that's what they do. BJ Penn's crazy. He even went through such a crazy phase, he actually fought Lyoto Machida at like fucking heavyweight, and BJ Penn, I think at the time, weighed like 180 or 170 some pounds, and he's taking on a heavyweight Lyoto Machida. He didn't get knocked out or submitted either. He just, kind of lost a decision. But that's all I got for you as of right now. Just wanted to, I mean, I've been working my ass off trying to get this website off the ground, trying to get all this YouTube stuff straightened out. So thank you to all my supporters, my subscribers. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for all your support this year. I will be putting a collage video. I'm also working on that, a collage video of pretty much everything that I've done this year. Just a touch on. I actually just reached 200 uploads. So yeah, just a piece out of every like 1 second, maybe, out of half of my uploads, and put a little music behind it maybe, and just but it's definitely going to be an awesome collage. If you look at some of my older videos, they were so terrible, they're horribly embarrassing, and I watch them and laugh. I fucking howl when I see those things. So yeah, there it is. Public Civil 101 Nation, take care of each other. There is your mixed martial arts update for the 5th of December. 3 more days, and we will see who the lightweight champion of the world is.